Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Danny's Detours, where we talk about anything and everything life related. Consciousness is your canvas. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's a little bit of a short and sweet one today because I've got a little bit of news. Well, I say a bit of news to announce, but I'm already out and about. You already know the score by now. My two favourite compadres, Patrick and Willow. Yeah, welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome to the new subscribers. Everyone that has subscribed, if you have not done so, I do invite you to do so. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'm just out on my local canal today, not far from where I live. Just having a quick morning walk because I'm out a little bit earlier today because I'm going to the hospital because some exciting news. We've got our 20-week scan today. Obviously, if you guys didn't know, obviously we're having our fourth child. We've already got, obviously we've got a girl, 2 boys, but we're having another girl, and we're calling her Molly because my grandma, or my nana, whatever you want to call her, she used to be called Molly. And when we had Max, who's my youngest son, we always said if we was ever to have a girl, we'd always name her Molly. So yeah, but anyway, we're going to the hospital later on, hence why I'm doing the early video. But I'm just out with my two favourite compadres, Paddy and Willow, as you already know. So yeah, so that's exciting times, isn't it? It's just crazy to think, guys, just how fast time goes. You know, time doesn't wait for nobody, does it? You know what I mean? And you know, I always look back to the day. I always look back and I was thinking to myself the other day, because when we had our first child, Emily, I was 24 years old, yeah. I'm 41 now, guys, and I'll be honest with you, that has literally just gone in the blink of an eye. Literally, time has literally just flown by so fast. Yeah, I'll just let this bike come past. Excuse 1 minute, guys. Let this bike past. All right, mate. Yeah, so it's just mad to think. Look at that there, though. Look at these, what they built. Absolutely fantastic, them. And all the lad as well, who actually has done some of them. But anyway, back to what we was talking about. And yeah, it's just fascinating, isn't it? Just to think that time literally waits for nobody. And you know, like, look at Emily now, and she's starting college in in about a week's time. I think next week she starts, and she's going on to do drama, you know, because she's absolutely fantastic. You know, I'm so proud. I'm proud of all my kids, you know what I mean? You know, they've done an absolutely phenomenal job. You know, we've had our ups and downs and stuff like that, you know, like with Connor. But even Connor, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he suffers with autism. But it's like how he just gets on with stuff, and, you know, the challenges that we've had so many challenges and hurdles that have been thrown at us. But I'm grateful for it, guys, you know what I mean? It's like I always say, you know, I go back to some of my older videos where I talk about problems with drugs, gambling. Gambling was one of my worst, hardest things to overcome, because it was a big mental battle, that. Drugs, alcohol, everything. You know, not loving myself because of, you know, having to get dealt with so many different things, like getting diabetes when I was, you know, listen, I'm not getting the violin out or anything like that, but I look back now and I think to myself, I'm so grateful for all of those things that have happened to me, and I'm grateful for my children and everything, because it's all part of the learning experience that we call life. You know what I mean? We've always got to remember that, guys. So just get up in the morning, show gratitude. I know there's a lot of carnage going on in the world at the moment. I know there's a lot of negativity, but that is all done by design, guys. Just look at that sun there. Look, I'm looking at that sun directly. That will not make you go blind, guys. You know what I mean? But anyway, sun gazing. Go and check out some of my sun gazing videos where I talk about that. It opens up your pineal gland, which is very important. Do a bit of studying on the pineal gland. But anyway, I'm going from one thing to another. ADHD's kicking in, I think. But yeah, you know, you've always got to look back and think to yourself, you know, just be grateful, because once you start to show that gratitude, and I know I mentioned this on some of my other videos, but once you do start to show that gratitude, then you start to vibrate on a higher frequency. And then once you start to vibrate upon this higher frequency, that is when you start to attract better things into your life. So if you're a negative, nasty person inside, your world will reflect that, because basically you are the universe. You know, and listen, I'll be honest with you guys, over the last week, I had a little bit of a dip in emotions, you know, totally honest. And, you know, I was starting to go down the negative route a little bit, because I was thinking in my head. And sometimes your mind, it can work for you or it can work against you. But then I had to sit myself down, I had to analyse my thoughts, because you are not the owner of your thoughts. Sometimes you've got to become the executive analyzer of your thoughts, like looking at them zoomed out, if that makes sense. And when you start to do that and you start to question it, because you're not the owner of them thoughts, even though you can control your mind, you are not always the owner of them thoughts, because sometimes they can creep in from external places, from other external circumstances. So just a few things for you to think about there, guys. But yeah, I'm glad the sun's coming out now. It's absolutely fantastic. So I've always been on that you are the power. You know, you are unstoppable. You can do anything, but it all starts from making that conscious decision within. Once you start to do that, then your life will start to change. You know, we can't look to the external. We can't look at other people and think, well, they've got this, they've got that. You don't know the journey that person has been on. You don't know the trials and tribulations. You don't know what they've had to go through to get them things. You know, be happy for people, guys. Be grateful, be thankful, show love, compassion. And once we start to do that, this is when we can unlock the frequency keys to the world, you know, and change humanity for the better. But it all starts from one person at a time. Yes, I understand there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world at the moment. It's not just happening in the UK. It's bad in the UK, yeah, of course it is. But one thing that I've said to myself, is it going to get a lot worse? I don't know, maybe not, but I promise you this, guys, I will be the shining light amongst the chaos. You have to be the calm within the eye of the storm. And once you do that, that is when they cannot win, guys, because they want you to be angry, bitter, resentful. They want you attacking each other. They want you divided. The Romans said it, divide the people and then you conquer them. But how can you conquer consciousness? Because if we are all from the one same collective consciousness, that is not conquerable. And they don't want us knowing this. They want us thinking that we're all separate and that we're all just physical entities, when we are not, guys. These physical bodies are just vehicles. But anyway, we're going on a little bit, but I'm just sort of like doing these videos just to make people see my point of view and wake people up, because when I had my awakening, it opened my eyes to so many different things. Not even so much to like the things that are going on in the world, but it opened my eyes to the potential that I possess within me. Because when you think about it, guys, we are all connected to God, because we are all God. Because the thoughts are the generator. The operator is our emotions, which is our heart. And the destroyer is our body, which is what? Taking action. G-O-D, you are God. Have a fantastic day. From me, Paddy and Willow. And also, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. You know the score. From me, Danny D2s. Have a fantastic day. Love you loads. Peace.